The Filter Free Diary. Uh,
Good afternoon. It's 2:33 and I was just having a quick conversation with Spirit and I'm like, you know what? Let's make an episode about that. Because I'm at a place in my life, in my understanding, in my journey where I don't I don't believe in mistakes anymore. And it's not that I don't believe the unintended happens. I believe the unintended happens a lot, but I don't think it's a mistake. I don't think you make mistakes. I don't think mistakes happen to you. Yeah, there's a lot of proof. Spirit was just saying, it's like when there's a mistake in your payroll. That wasn't a mistake. The computer didn't make a mistake. The computer did exactly what it was told to do. The human didn't do exactly what it thought it was doing. And you remember that episode when I got locked out of my truck and I was in Greece and I was just like, what do I do? And I spent a lot of time thinking about that. And how many things had to have gone wrong for that situation to even arise. And I don't think I made a mistake. But I am going to say this thing. What I think actually happened is I think when we don't pay attention to things, when we go on that autopilot thing, because our mind is somewhere else, something takes over. Something absolutely takes over. And the thing I think that takes over is spirit. In the same way when we're sleeping, and if we get up and start walking around, spirit is kind of taking over. So we sleepwalk, we sleep eat, we sleep have conversations or whatever, because the mind can be offline or it can be preoccupied with something else. And when it's preoccupied, that's all spirit needs to get in there and do things. Because when you're not paying attention, you're not going to be freaked out if, your keys suddenly move from your pocket back into your purse. You're not even paying attention. And no, I'm not trying to say my hands move around on their own. What I'm saying is spirit puppets me sometimes. And yes, of course it does. Like, I've been driving for like 6, 7, 8 hours, 10 hours at a stretch sometimes. I can't fucking do that. I get bored after 3 hours. That did not change. I'm just gonna put that out there. That did not change. What did change is my strenuous desire to keep control of everything, because I don't like to go on autopilot. I don't like to not be the pilot, right? I don't play co-pilot very well. I'm kind of a control freak only because I want to be super responsible for myself, so I have to be super present in order to be super responsible for myself. And the idea of going on autopilot and letting something else handle things while I la 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 is kind of a terrifying thought, especially while I'm driving. But yet I was forced into several situations where I felt I needed to drive a ridiculous amount of hours in a day and did that thing. And yeah, I still timed out after like 3 hours. And there is where Spirit and I had some of the longest, weirdest conversations. And because I keep telling you all this weird ass shit, because that's what we talk about, because it's been hours. And I started off paying attention to the driving and doing all the things, but yeah. And now I'm just like, fine, whatever, you drive. I'll just sit back and listen to music or dance, or we can have a conversation or do whatever. You just autopilot, what the fuck ever. And not for nothing. I think that can work consciously, like where I'm like, surrendering my will to be like, yeah, go ahead, autopilot, whatever. I'm not going to be able to focus as long anyways. I already know I can't do that. To more of a subconscious thing, like when I lock myself out of my car. And it takes a lot of paying attention to notice weird, subtle things. And I've noticed several weird, subtle things where all of a sudden I'll just decide to move something or do something. And I know it's spirit doing it because I have no idea why I've decided to do that thing all of a sudden right now that way. No fucking idea. It's more like an instinct, right? Like when you're driving, if something happens, if there's a loud noise, if there's a honking of a horn or something, instantly you come to, right? It's because there's like an instinct about it, an autopilot. And it can alert you, obviously, because it's not trained to do much more than basic shit like walk around or eat or move things or drive straight lines for hours at a time. And that's why I don't think mistakes are actually a thing. Whether we're consciously doing it or unconsciously doing it, we're doing it. Maybe we didn't think we meant to do that because we meant to be perfect, but you know what? Maybe we had a lesson we had to learn. Always gotta. Anyways, have a good afternoon.